Three, two, one, here we go. Rainman's Take podcast. Observations on the world we live in. My take on current events and other topics of interest. Also, interviews with some really cool people. So let's get the conversation going. Hey, everybody, it's the Rain Man back with another episode for you today. I'm calling this one Celebrity Political Endorsements. And before I get into it, however, I'd like to thank you all who are part of the Rain Man's Take community. Thank you very much. If you're new to the program, welcome. I know you're going to love the content. So if you could, go ahead and hit that subscribe button at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And if you could also watch this video to the end, that would certainly help me out with the YouTube algorithm, which in turn will help me get the word out to more people, which will continue the conversation going, which is what this is all about in the first place. So thank you again. Now back to the subject of the podcast today. And I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to give my take on the thankfully very short-lived dust-up a few weeks ago about Patrick Mahomes' wife and her alleged endorsement of Donald Trump and the subsequent social media freak out over it. Now, these are my thoughts on political endorsements in general by influential people and organizations. I loved Patrick Mahomes' response to the social media trolls going after his wife for her apparent Trump endorsement. He basically said, people have their own opinions, and his position is he wants everybody to be involved, do their research, and make up their own minds. Now, that resonates with me because I say that all the time on Rain Man's Take. Now, I noticed that he did not mention his political views, which is fine with me. After all, his and everyone else's views, for that matter, should be a personal thing. I say this to my friends all the time. We can have different political views, and that is okay. I will never let politics get in the way of real friendships. However, I understand in this world of social media, that's getting more and more difficult, as this example shows. Anyway, I 100% agree with Mahomes. His underlying point was, don't listen to people who are celebrities or social media influencers, etc. Be your own person and make your own decisions. Now, I love football and I love watching the NFL. I'm a huge fan of the game and the New England Patriots. I know. These last few years have been payback for our utter dominance we've had over the last 20 years. Now, back to my point as it relates to what I just said about Mahomes. I'm glad to see how the NFL's recent ad campaign about voting has come across. The campaign seems to be very much nonpartisan, and I think this is the way it should be done. After all, I would venture to guess that a majority of the fans of the NFL lean more conservative. I think the NFL's current Get Out to Vote campaign is great. They are pushing everyone to get involved and vote, to make our voices heard. They are asking people to register and that it only takes a couple of minutes to register to vote. That is a unifying campaign in my view. Now, this down the middle approach is refreshing, especially in light of the NFL's very leftist positions on social issues over the last several years. This voting campaign, thankfully, is not skewed left or right, but to all of us to take part in the process, regardless of our political leanings. We all must be part of the process. But the only way to do that is by doing what Mahomes is promoting, which is to do our own research and make our own informed decisions. If we can come together and say we all need to be involved, maybe that is a start to reducing the division that we have in our country currently. Now, maybe the NFL has changed their tune because many of their right-leaning fans tuned out a while ago when they started to get political. And I think that that's okay. That means people they were paying attention and they were voting with their pocketbooks and their attention, and it made an impact. Who knows? Maybe the NFL realized that they made a mistake and are trying to rectify the situation. The bottom line is sports events are still one of the only true unifiers in our otherwise very divided society. A sports stadium is still a place where all walks of life, races, and socioeconomic conditions can come together in common cause, rooting for their local team. That is a very good thing and needs to be reinforced and celebrated. I think the NFL is doing that with their straight down the middle voting campaign. Mahomes did the same thing, and he basically said that his wife is entitled to her views. And quite frankly, it should be no one's business who she wants to vote for. Juxtapose that with Taylor Swift openly promoting support for the leftist agenda. She can do whatever she wants, but she must be feeling it by now based on how many people have tuned her out. I think she is alienating a percentage of her fans. Now, maybe because her Eras tour has been insanely successful that she really doesn't care about those people, but what she's doing is dividing, and what the NFL and Mahomes are doing, I think, are trying to be inclusive. Celebrities say they want to use their large platforms to promote causes they believe in, and that is totally fine. You need to ask yourself, however, how much do they know about what they're promoting? In this current environment, they must know that it is a politically risky move, as we have seen time and time again when a politically active and obnoxious celebrity has lost a lot of viewers and fans. People want to be entertained, not lectured to. And a lot of celebrities get too caught up in their own hype and seem to forget that part. The ones that say, you need to be on my side, and if you're not, they don't want anything to do with you. That to me is ignorance at best and intolerance at worst. I say always be skeptical of people pushing a position on you. Always ask, what is their motivation for doing that? Now, in my perfect world, people and organizations with a lot of influence would be promoting things that bring us together. And in the case of Mahomes and the NFL, that is to get involved and be educated on what is happening and vote. Now, 140 characters on X is not enough. We all need to do more as contributing members to society to educate ourselves. Unfortunately, a lot of people get their news from just that type of platform. And I don't think that's good, but quite honestly, at this point, I'm not sure what to do about that. Patrick Mahomes is exactly right. No matter your positions, make up your mind by doing your own research. To give you another example, I was just at the Ohana Music Festival this past weekend, and it's put on each year by Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam. He's a very outspoken leftist entertainer. However, during his show, he pleaded with everyone in the audience to get involved and vote. Now, I know by how he said it that he was trying to push his views without coming right out and saying that. And I actually found that refreshing because my guess is that there were a lot of right-leaning fans like me in the audience that he didn't disparage or completely alienate. We were all there to listen to a great rock band that we love, regardless of their politics. He just said we have to vote and be involved, and that democracy was at stake. Now, that obviously is his view. And the funny thing is, as a conservative, I actually feel the exact same way. So I took it as Eddie telling us to all get involved and be a part of the process. Now, the big thing is going to be is to see how people like him, Taylor Swift, and the NFL all react if people actually do get involved and Trump wins in November. Now, for me personally, if that happens, I will not gloat because that's just the start. And in my view, Trump is going to have a very steep uphill climb to get things back on track. In my perfect world, people with influence would be promoting all of us to be involved to bring us together. In this case, to do our sacred duty as citizens of this constitutional republic and for all of us to vote. Now, we obviously don't live in a perfect world, so we're going to have to see what happens in November. Anyway, I think the bottom line here is we all need to be involved. But remember, no matter what happens in November, I believe that there is more that unites us than divides us as citizens. Okay, that's it. Just a real quick take on what's been happening the last couple of weeks. I'm going to end it like I always do. If you're in the military, the police departments, fire departments, or first responders, if that's you out there, thank you very much for your service. Stay safe. This is the Rain Man, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching Rain Man's Take, Observations on the World We Live In. If you like the content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. You can also follow Rain Man's Take on Instagram at Rain Man's Take. Also, check out our website at www.rainmanstakepodcast.com and send your comments to rainmanstake@gmail.com. Keep an eye out for future podcasts, which will be coming out every Thursday at 5 p.m. West Coast time.